Thank you to Go Climate for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Good morning, friends. I'm back at home after a wonderful weekend in London. I'm going to win this round. It's raining, obviously. No, not the fingertip. The weather is really unpredictable. It's getting a bit outrageous. I didn't bring any of my raincoats with me. It's raining again. The kind of last hurrah before my boyfriend left to go back to the US. So I've got a bit of a deep sadness within me, so I thought I would do a wholesome video today where we're going to go around the garden and harvest all the food that's ready, which is really exciting. Learning about gardening and growing my own food is part of my kind of future pledge to greenify my home in more ways, and hopefully the dream is to have, you know, a garden of my own where I can create a little homestead and grow so much food that I can share it with the community that I'm living in. That would be the dream. So I want to do some things for myself today. We're going to obviously get lots of work done, but we're going to harvest some food. We're going to talk about what we're going to do with that food. I might go on a really long solo bike ride. And I'm also going to talk to you about some upcoming things that I'm going to be doing alone because I have no one to do with them with. And sometimes I think it's good to do things alone to just push your personal boundaries, your personal fear boundaries. And also just sometimes it's more fun to do things alone, you know? So we're going to start off by, I think we're going to harvest some potatoes. That's going to be exciting.
When you walked into the room, I couldn't keep my eyes off of you. Was it make-believe or was it a dream? I've been waiting all my life. Feels like I've struck a gold mine with your hand in mine. Our love came alive. We've still got the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. Oh, the rest of our lives. Dance with me.
Finding potatoes in these buckets was literally like finding gold. This is the first time I've ever tried to grow pretty much anything, apart from some herbs on my flat windowsill when I lived in London. And this was the most exciting thing. Of course, there were so few potatoes, I think, that I could have grown, but I just looked at all the advice online to see what people were saying, when to harvest. This may have been a little early, but nothing could stop the excitement that I was feeling about growing my first set of potatoes. I know this might seem silly to some, but I gained about 30 potatoes just from 4, and to me that is magical. This was also the first time where I actually got a huge courgette as well. It just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. I feel like that's their style. But I like them when they're small, so I also took off a few of the little ones too. And last week, or a couple of weeks ago, we had a monster marrow that I haven't showed you. So the one that I'm taking here is actually the second one that we got. And I took it off a little bit smaller just to see what that tasted like. We got some little cucumbers as well, and then some cherry tomatoes. Honestly, growing things has been one of the most satisfying things, and I'm so grateful for this space because it basically kept my brain occupied from over the past 6 months, and it made me realize that distraction really is key during tough times and keeping a sense of purpose in your life. While we're cooking up some of the potatoes and marrow and courgettes for today's lunch, I want to take this opportunity to talk to you about today's sponsor. I first talked about Go Climate back in April in my Earth Month video, and today I want to talk to you about them because even though I haven't stepped on a plane in over 18 months and have been trying to live as sustainably as possible, just based on the fact that I live in the global north, my carbon footprint is much higher than someone living in the global south, and yet we feel the least of the effects of climate change. This is just one of the reasons why I support organisations like Go Climate, whose purpose is to fight the climate crisis by reducing greenhouse gas emissions while centering climate justice and operating with 100% transparency. They are the only carbon offset company that I would endorse due to their intersectional approach to climate justice and their commitment to financing effective climate projects that build a foundation for a sustainable future and support me and many others in reducing our carbon footprint. As someone who is privileged enough to have the choice to make changes, this is something I do monthly just to help reduce my everyday emissions, especially since the average carbon footprint for someone living in the UK costs less than £14. This doesn't give me a free pass to up my carbon intensive habits, of course. It's just simply a way of combining individual action with collective action to help drive systemic change too. Go Climate has developed a carbon footprint calculator as a first step in understanding the true carbon footprint of an individual, and by using the referral code GOWIMI, you will get your first month of offsetting free of charge if you're interested. Honestly, those potatoes were so delicious. Also, I've never tried marrow before, and the marrows were actually the things that are doing the best so far in the garden. Anyway, if you have any questions about the food that I have been growing, please leave them in the comments. I'm going to go for a cycle now. I'm planning a bikepacking trip this weekend. I'm going for 2 nights on my own because obviously my boyfriend's not here and my friends aren't really into bikepacking, so I just thought, why not go alone, you know? And this is a kind of training bikepacking for a slightly longer one that I'm going to do, so I need to get more bike fit or have more miles on the bike, so I'm going to go. The bikepacking trip, however, is a kind of exploration of cycling and bikepacking with an electric bike, so it's not going to be as taxing physically. However, it's going to be really exciting. I'm really, really excited to go out and spend more time just kind of alone. Anyway, I'm going to go for a cycle now. I'm going to take you with me because some of the roads around here are just so beautiful and quiet, and a lot of them have been closed off to the road. And I just love the fact that I can be more self-sufficient with my bike, so I can get places. I don't need to borrow a car. I don't need to just walk. And yeah, I'm excited to get out and cycle a bit more. So
When you walked into the room, I couldn't keep my eyes off of you. Was it make-believe, or was it a dream? I've been have struck a gold mine. With your hand in mine, our love came alive. We've still got the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. Oh, the rest of our lives.
I've been trying to keep myself busy while my boyfriend has gone and readjusting to being alone again. Obviously, I'm not completely alone, but having that constant person with you to hug in your work breaks, to bring cups of tea and have tea brought to you, to do things in the morning before work and in the evening afterwards is something really special and something really to be cherished. And I think when we are alone and we've had that quality time with someone special to us, it makes us so much more grateful for the time that we do get to spend together. So every now and again I do have a little cry, but I just remind myself that we're so lucky to have found each other. We're so lucky to be a part of one another's lives, and we're so lucky that we get to be together, that we've made that choice to be together. And while visas might take months on end, it's a small price to pay for the person that you love most in the world. So, while it's painful to be apart, I just look forward to the day where we get to be together forever. Today I'm just making a really, really simple dinner after my bike ride, just something, full of protein with my lentils, but also just having lots of vegetables from the garden, just whatever's around. So we've got cucumber, potatoes and tomatoes with a tahini dressing, and also some vine leaves that I bought from the zero waste shop, I think about a week ago now. So I'm just packing to go back to London for several reasons. I think with the whole visa process of moving abroad, there's just nothing that's in my control anymore apart from getting everything together and getting everything off in the right timing and place and just doing all that kind of stuff. But the only thing that I feel like I can control is the kind of preparation, preparing my life the way it is now for moving. And also, as I said, I'm going back bike packing this weekend and I need to get a few things like some of my camping stuff that is at my sister's. So I'm packing. I'm going back to London. I am gonna declutter a lot of the stuff that's in my room in my sister's flat because one of our friends is gonna take over that room. Decluttering everything. I'm gonna do a whole decluttering video, but I'm gonna try and also do it in the most sustainable way possible. I'm not gonna throw things away. It's gonna be very much finding what's useful and being able to sell it, giving things to people who actually want it, contacting charity shops and making sure I'm giving them items that they actually need, because I don't want to move abroad with just loads and loads and loads of stuff. However, I'm not going to get rid of anything that I could just buy when I'm there. Of course, shampoo and conditioner, whatever, that kind of stuff is not what I mean. Or a lot of people have asked me, like my parents and stuff, whether I'm going to take my bike, and I love my bike. I don't know how much it's going to cost to take with me, but taking it with me is probably going to be a damn sight cheaper than buying a new bike or buying a secondhand bike when I'm in the US. So I'm definitely going to take my bike with me, but there are other things that I might necessarily not need to take with me that I could give away to friends who also cycle and things like that. I really value my stuff. Like I really value the things that I've kind of acquired over the last however many years. Like my laptop case, for example, I got that a few years ago and I still love it and I still use it, especially when I'm going places. I still have my my Grin bag wash one as well. Again, like camping equipment, for example. I have a 2-man tent that I probably won't take with me, but that's because my boyfriend has one, and that's a great example of something I can definitely sell because it's in really, really great condition. I'll probably sell it on my Instagram, to be honest, because I know so many people who follow me are really into hiking and backpacking, and this is the tent that my boyfriend and I actually used when we went to Scotland last year, and it was a great tent. It was relatively affordable compared to a lot of the kind of really fancy hiking tents that you can get nowadays. It's definitely not like that. It's on the heavier side, it's about 4 kilos, but if you're sharing the weight of things or if you're going with friends, a lot of people do car camping. And by that I mean driving in a car and parking near their camp spot. So that's also a thing you can do with that tent. Yeah, so that's like a really good example of something that I probably won't need because my boyfriend, he goes camping a lot on his own, but he bought a 2-man, or his mum bought him a 2-man tent for Christmas or something like that. So he has already got the stuff that we need. I did a massive declutter, which I did a whole video of I tried everything on in my closet. That was most of my stuff, but then I realised that there is actually a whole section of stuff back at my sister's flat of my clothes that I need to get rid of. So this weekend I'm going to go through everything of mine that's in the flat. I'm going to go through all my clothes, anything that I am not sure about. I also have a stabilizer for my camera. That's definitely something I would not sell and would be worth me trekking all the way over to the US for, because that's something I really invested in for filming and getting nice footage. So that's a great example of something that I just would not get rid of. So I think I'll end up doing a decluttering video this weekend probably before I go on my bike packing trip. So I'm going to finish packing all this stuff. A lot of things I'm trying to pack really minimally, so this is the only bag that I'm taking. I'm not quite sure how long I'm going for. August is going to be quite a strange month. It's going to be one of those months where I'm just planning and getting control of my life, and even though I probably won't move until next year because the visa process takes ages, it just feels positive for my mental health to just take control of some kind of aspect that I can. I'm also saving as much money as I can as well, and there are just lots of planning admin things that make me feel like it's something that I can do. I don't know if any of you guys are going through the visa process, or you have been through it, or you've moved, or you are planning on moving and everything's a little uncertain. I would love to just hear what you thought, what you think about this. I'm going to leave it there because otherwise you know how I can just go on. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're interested in more content and you want to support this channel, you can always check out my Patreon. I've been really enjoying making audio clips again and more videos and sharing videos with you a day early. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and I will see you next time.